Evolving Humans is 2 years old this month, and our mission is to add more value for you, the listener. This episode is channeled material brought through in response to questions in real time. If you feel this adds value to your life, please let me know. It's easy to do. You can leave me a text message by scrolling down to the show notes page and clicking on the link at the top of the page. And now, we recognize the sound quality of the following tape is not up to standard, but we hope you will focus on the quality of the information. Welcome to Evolving Humans, the podcast for awakening souls. I'm your host, Julia Marie. Settle in and get ready for another spirited conversation.
Does the soul have a curriculum for all the lessons they would like to learn in each incarnation or dimension, so to speak?
In the broadest sense of your inquiry, we would say yes. There is an integrated course of study for each individualized aspect of the creative intelligence as to what it would desire to gather as far as its knowledge of self and how creation works. So in the broadest sense of the word, we would say yes. And each of those dimensional levels and layers are interwoven and do impact the one with the other. It is quite a complicated web of awareness that is happening on multiple levels at the same time. And here we use the term time loosely. For in many of the realms of which where your soul is located, aspects of your soul are located, there is no time. There is no linear time. So, yes, there is a curriculum, and yes, there is a cohesive, unified whole in effect for that curriculum that can be adjusted based upon which incarnation the soul is accessing at that moment. So there is also that aspect to consider. In your current incarnation, you have a specific subsection of that curriculum that your soul has chosen or designated for each one of those lifetimes. There are other aspects of you incarnated along the timeline that are experiencing and exploring other aspects of the curriculum. It can be quite complicated to the human mind. So the short answer is, yes, there is a curriculum.
Thank you. What is the purpose of the UFO phenomenon?
The overarching purpose for the appearance of this phenomenon, and it has been going on since humans first walked upright, so it's not a recent happening. In the early days, the ships would come here to monitor things as they unfolded. It was more of a gathering of data and a monitoring of the process through which the evolution had been kickstarted here. So there was a need to monitor the project itself and its progress. If we are speaking of the contemporary UFO phenomenon, then the purpose is primarily shifted. We understand that certain adjustments that were made have taken hold. In other words, the seeding was by and large successful. And so now the intentional appearance or showing of ourselves to the general collective is to expand the awareness of the human population, to open itself to the potential of not being alone in the universe, shall we say. In other words, yes, there are other aspects of creation that also have awareness and also have the capability to travel both interdimensionally and interplanetarily. So the purpose in general is to expand the awareness, the consciousness of the collective itself, to include something other than this planet upon which they currently find themselves. We are not nefarious in our intentions. For the most part, this is by decree, by direction, and by design, all according to the plan as proposed in the higher realms many, many eons ago. Is it all, as you would say, love and light? No, there are some who have decided to take advantage and would choose to use this precious experiment as sort of a harvest, so to speak. However, that will not be permitted by those that approved this project in the first place. So the overall purpose of the UFO phenomenon is to awaken humanity as a collective to the very real reality that they are indeed not alone in the universe. Those are our words.
Thank you. The Bible speaks of Ezekiel's wheels. Were these what we today call UFOs? If so, then are UFOs what the Bible calls angels?
Ezekiel's wheels were indeed ships. And what the spinning wheel aspect is around many of the craft, there are lights around the outer rim that flash in sequence, which may appear to many to be spinning. And therefore that gave the illusion of it being a wheel moving through the air. Are they what humans call angels? We would say not necessarily. There are beings that appear to have wings that come from other locations in this interstellar community. And they do bring messages, but they are, from our perspective, we would not lump the two together. They are all visitors here from another place. And at that time, there was still a lot of monitoring of the progress of the seeding aspect of the experiment to see how it was unfolding. There was actually, during that period of time, an increase in the number of observational visits made to the planet during that time period, which is probably what contributed to the ships being mentioned in the Bible.
Thank you. Is it true that we must treat everyone, especially those within our soul tribes, as if it were ourselves, because, in a manner of speaking, it is our soul from in a different form, learning lessons needed to heal the soul on a collective level. So one may take on the quote-unquote challenges of that our ancestors have experienced. So through us, we can heal the ancestral soul.
Although on the surface you've asked a complex question, we would answer you thus. Anytime you encounter a situation that, using the common vernacular, triggers you or causes to awaken in you certain responses, we would encourage you to find the place within you of compassion, both for yourself and for whomever it is that triggered that response. And see this as an opportunity to practice compassion towards the other, which, yes, in the final analysis is also you. However, that concept is often difficult for the human mind to grasp. So therefore, we would say come from a place of compassion to that person or that situation, and see it as an opportunity to practice that vibration. And you will know that you are successful when you come to a place of being at peace with it. That is how you will know that whatever that pattern is, that imprint is, that has been healed or resolved. Do you understand?
Yes. And so does that also help heal our ancestors the same time that we heal and transmute these energies to find peace? Does that give our ancestors peace?
Definitely, yes. The answer is yes. Changing the peace brings about the change in the genetic coding. Often what humans are enamored with is the understanding of why, or the playing out of the dramatics of whatever, when in the final analysis, application of a specific vibration clears the dysfunctional pattern. So why not move to a place of pure frequency? Hold yourself in that frequency with the situation and know that it is being transmuted and transformed. And that goes all the way up the line. The genetic code changed within the individual who's doing the practicing, changes as well the encodements for the entire lineage.
Excellent. Thank you. Do we even really exist?
We are smiling. For the reality for all of us engaged in this conversation is that, yes, indeed we do exist, for it is our reality in this moment. And so to imagine otherwise confounds the mind. We must always be mindful of the limitations of the human mind to be able to grasp certain concepts. Do I want to waste my energy pondering whether I exist or not? Or do I want to simply have the experience, be as fully immersed in it as possible, knowing that someday I will know the answer to that question? Do I exist or not? I will know that answer. But is it able to be explained to me in my current state of consciousness? The answer to that question for most humans on this planet at this time is no. It cannot be intellectually understood regardless. So therefore, why am I wasting my energy even asking the question?
Thank you. Do you have any final words or messages you would like to share today?
We are grateful for the opportunity to come forward at this time to share our brand of wisdom with all who would hear it, to any who seek to understand more completely their place in the universe, their part in the whole of creation. So we would simply say that continue on your path to the best of your ability, gathering your experiences with the greatest mindfulness that you can, and understand that all that you learn contributes not only to your own growth, but to the growth of the collective soul as well. So that is what we would say to you today. We give thanks once more for having had the opportunity to converse with you in this way.
Yes, many thanks to you.
Well, that's our time for today. Thank you for tuning in. If this episode resonated with you, please take a moment to share it with someone else who may enjoy it. And take a moment to click the link at the top of the show notes page to leave us a text message. Go ahead, do it now. Your feedback is important to us. Until next time, remember to live inside out.